Hi, welcome to my channel, Senior Sue, Cacti and Succulents. Today we are going to be talking about the Crassula Perfoliata Falcata, and this is also known as the airplane plant, the helicopter plant, or a propeller plant. And this plant also used to be called a Rochea Falcata, but today it goes by the name of Crassula Falcata most often. Okay, now this plant is from South Africa, and you can grow this in an arid and a semi-tropical environment. However, it does do best growing outdoors in zones 9 and 10, and it is not very cold hardy. However, if you are growing this plant in a pot outdoors, make sure you bring it in if a frost is expected. If you're growing it in the ground, cover it up with a frost cloth. Okay, Crassula Falcata is a slow grower, and it can grow up to 2 feet tall to 2 to 3 feet wide. And I will insert a clip here of the plant when I first purchased it and put it into the ground. Here's the plant 2.5 years ago when I first put it into the ground. Okay, Crassula Falcata will bloom in the summertime, and it grows very dense flower heads, and the flower heads are red in color. And I'm showing you where I cut the bloom stalk off of mine, and it looks like I'm growing 2 baby plants there now. So I'm anxious to see what this looks like once it gets a little bit bigger, and I will probably remove those little babies that are growing on top and plant them in the ground and get this plant multiplied. I also want to mention that if you are growing this in a pot indoors, make sure your plant gets plenty of sunlight, because otherwise it will end up really floppy, moppy looking, and it won't stand upright, and you'll probably have to end up bracing it with rocks or tying it up or something. So make sure it gets plenty of sun. Also well-draining soil, and water only when the soil is completely dry. And if you are growing this plant outdoors, make sure you shield it from the hot afternoon sun during the summer months. Now I have another little piece of trivia here. While I was researching this plant, I actually wanted to know what the word crassula really meant, and it comes from the Latin word crassus, which means thick. And you can see that on most crassulas, the leaves are very thick and fleshy and plump. So I thought that was kind of a little interesting piece of information. Also, at the end of this video, I will put a link up to this series, which is called 24 Days of Cacti and Succulents, so you'll see that playlist at the end. And if you'd like to see what this garden looked like before I put all of these plants in, I will put a link up above to that video. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your views, and if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. All right, see you tomorrow.